Hello everyone, welcome back. Okay, time's come to plant this rock planting up. So what I've done is I've put a piece of heavy wire across one of the grooves for the water. I've just put a bit of tape just to hold it in place till I tighten it up, and then I put a wire through there. Tree probably would, you could get away without wiring it, but I'll just wire it in for the sake of making sure it's secure. So first thing I need to do is get some soil in here. I got the tree out of the rock. I did have to bust the rock in half because these roots here were growing down through the tree, but we got it out. It's a bit messy, but we got there. So I'm all ready to go. So the first thing I'll do is get some soil into this. Okay, so I've put some soil in. I put some heavier stuff at the bottom and then some finer stuff on the top. Now I'm just going to get the tree in the right way. Just check the height where I want it and the angle. We may have to do a bit of alterations on the branches, but I'm thinking it roughly needs to be about there. Something like that. I think that looks pretty good. So we need to put another bit of soil in, but I want to try and get them couple of long roots. I could cut them off, but to be honest, I don't think I will. There's no need to. I did cut off a lot of root off the very bottom. It was like running through the rock. Then it had a big bunch of roots which was growing in the rock, and then it was carrying on through and into the part of the bottom, and there was another big bunch of roots at the bottom. So I cut off the bottom ones and left the rest, and just tidied them up a bit. So we won't go crazy on cutting the roots. That should do us. Just put a bit in this side. Now, just to show you how much the roots grew, these are the two little Chinese elms which I only planted in, I think, last year. And you can see they were sitting on top of the rock as well. So the roots have grown pretty long on them. They were just cuttings. So I was going to put one in here, but I might not yet. For now I'm not going to. We might use them for little root over plantings and stuff because they've got good roots on them now. But for now we'll just plant this tree, I think, in here. So I'm just going to work in the roots now. Work all that soil in. Just first of all get the bottom roots all worked in. Like that, it's kind of a layer of roots, then a root, and then another layer of roots, or two roots and another layer. So I don't want to get rid of them yet. Okay, so that's the bottom roots worked in. So I'm thinking that looks. Could maybe turn a little bit more around this way. Like that, you get a little bit of dead wood at the front, something like that maybe. Okay, so I'm going to wire it in now. I'm glad I did decide to wire it because I definitely think it would be a bit wobbly without. So it's only going to have the one wire, so I'm just debating the best way to do it. Probably, if I can, would be to get it through that root ball. It's a very kind of tight root ball. If I can figure a way of getting it in through there rather than getting it over the top. Maybe there, at the back. At least then it'll keep it pulled backwards. No, that's gonna hold it in place. If I tighten it, it probably will, I'd say. So it will be alright there. Maybe I should have put two. Maybe I should have put two wires. Yeah, I'm thinking I might put a second wire, because I didn't realise how little root was on top of this. Unless I went over that. If I went over that knuckle there, that would definitely hold it in. Yeah, that will probably do it. Like that, shouldn't take long before it's gripped in well anyway. I won't need the wire, but for now, just double check we're all good. For now we're there. Make sure we have it well secured. Okay. Just cut that back a bit. I meant to say, I forgot to say on the last video, when I was painting this the sandy colour, you're probably thinking, why bother painting the greens and the browns underneath? Well, my plan for this was to paint it brown, not the sandy colour. So the greens and the browns underneath were going to kind of come through on the kind of transparent brown. I was going to do it, but then I changed my mind and I decided to do it the sandy colour. So that kind of took, I needed to cover it all then with the sandy colour, so that kind of hid all that. But it's no harm to have a few layers of paint anyway. At least if anything happens, if it scratches or anything, you've got another layer underneath. But by right, all I needed to do really with the sandy colour was to paint it a kind of a brown. You didn't need these blacks, you just wanted some brown, but it'll do now. Okay, I think that's looking good. So I'm going to cut that back out, that wire out there. These wires, I'm going to lie these down out the way. We're not going to use these. I don't think we will be putting any tree here ever, but just in case, we'll just lie them down so they're under the soil and the moss, just like that, so they'll be hidden. Okay, so we'll just fill this up another bit with soil. What I want to do is just put a thin layer of this soil on the top, just to work into the roots. Some back there, work that in. Tree's good and solid now. That one wire over the top. Once it's locked in, I can always cut that wire off, pull it out through the bottom. Just make sure it's all worked in nicely. Push it all down. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I just have this finer stuff. This is just the Akadama and a bit of lava rock and the pumice, which is being sieved, and this is the finer stuff. So I'm just going to put that on the top now, because the moss will take to that. It'll hold the moisture a little bit close to the top for the moss, because the coarse stuff, the moss doesn't really like growing on there. Just put a little bit in here just to fill in that, so there's a bit of drainage. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that a watering, just to wet it down. I will be soaking the whole thing once it's planted up. Usual amount of water. I think we'll just have enough to wet it down. And we can start to plant some moss. And what I might do, I have a bag of this keto stuff. This is basically like a muck you can get. I think it's like sphagnum moss and stuff like that all mushed together, and it's really good for doing, like, you know, if you wanted to build up the sides. It's kind of sticky, so I'm just going to put a bit on here. Probably didn't need the bit of gravel, and add a bit of soil in here now because I'm putting this. But this is just to give the moss a kind of kickstart and help it stick in a bit. So just fill in here. See where we're going to be putting some moss. Maybe just put a little bit between this here. A little bit here maybe. Okay, let's see how that goes. Clean my hands now a second. Okay, so we can start with the moss again. Don't have a lot of moss. I just have what's left over in this tray here, which is quite a bit, but it's all the same. But like that, I can always add moss. If I find some nice stuff, I can always change it and we can add some new stuff. So actually we could have done with a bit of here as well. Anywhere where you're going to put moss, I'm just going to put a little bit of this just to help it along. Okay. I suppose best thing to do is start up by the tree and work our way back. I gave this moss a soaking earlier today, so it's nice and wet. And like that, I'll give it all the good soaking once it's done. Some of this we could trim down a little bit. Just take off some of the soil off the bottom. He said it's a bit thick, this moss, but it'll do the job. Sure, I don't want any weeds in it. I won't even bother with that bit. Just keep layering it in. When I'm out and about, if I find some nice different moss, I'll just come along and take some of this out and switch it. Here, and just trim this back a little bit, take off. Still a bit of soil on the bottom of it. here. Just keep adding more and more bits until we get it all done. And then we'll decide, is there any bits we need to put. Around the rocks. So hopefully this will take the kind of, because when you do it, the rock looks very kind of in your face, but once you start adding a bit of green into it and taking all that, breaking it up a bit, then it starts to look a little bit better. We'll definitely want to get some different mosses, alright. Don't want them all. Don't want it all the same, really. If you can, you're going to mix it up. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Now, we could put some, glue some up here in places like that. Might do that, but what I'm going to do is see if I can find some more finer moss. I'll just go out and see if I can rob some off something else. Okay. Must have knocked the camera off there, but we're back again. Okay, so I've gone and I've actually scraped this off. If you're looking for moss that you want to grow that will spread and climb, then go and find moss that is actually doing that. This stuff clings and spreads onto anything really, wood, concrete, anything like that, and it just kind of spreads itself around. So this is kind of ideal for if this is what you want to do. If you want it to kind of sit nice and fine like that, then that's the moss you want to collect. So I'm just putting a little bit of super glue and we'll just glue it in place, and once it's in place then it will eventually spread itself. And we could maybe put some inside there like that. Just put a tiny bit of glue. It just needs to, just enough to hold it. Just put it in the cracks then like there. Put my glasses. Where did I put my glasses? Okay, lost my glasses. Don't know where I put them. I'll have to keep going. We'll put some up here on the sledge, and just a tiny bit just to stop it blowing off basically, and then hopefully it will eventually cling to it and start to spread. Maybe put a bit down here. Just out where you want it. And just a tiny bit of glue. Just like that. Tiny bit up here. They don't have to be big bits because they will spread. Maybe we'll put some in here. put a bit of this stuff on the end here, so it'll spread around then, and kind of hang down and fill in that at that end. Okay, anywhere else we want a bit, I could put a piece down under here. A little lip there. Okay, so you can just go around and just add more. I could put some up here if I wanted to, just to break this gap here maybe. I'll just put that little bit, last bit in there, like that, and we'll just let that grow and fill out. I do have a little couple of these little mini ferns we could stick in around the place as well. Some tweezers, so we could just kind of maybe stick this one on in under here. Put this one back here maybe, pull back the moss a bit, stick the roots in underneath. What else do we have? This one. Maybe we'll put this one. There's a couple here. We'll just get rid of them ones. We'll put this one at the back here just to kind of fill in underneath there. Side as well. Good thing about it is all four of the ferns I found were all different ones, so I got one of each type. I just add a little bit more to it. Okay, so I think we're done for now. We can give that a good watering now, and hopefully all goes okay. Everything survives well. I won't do any work on the tree, obviously. Now I've just replanted it. We'll just leave it recover, and then maybe we'll have a look at the tree. But for now, I think it's okay as is. So yeah, I think this is another project finished. Well, not finished, we'll always be working on them, but you know, it's planted up, it's ready to go. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little project as much as me. I enjoy doing these things while you're waiting to get cracking onto the repotting season and stuff. It gives you something to do, to make pots and things like this. So yeah, I've enjoyed that. Hopefully you did, and you'll subscribe to see what comes next. And as always guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.